Little monkey. Check one little monkey. By herself
Hello and welcome to everyone. I can still smile faces over here. We will be having pictures afterwards. I know today is a very special day. We can see lots of smiling faces and a very, very honored and respectable person among us. Trust me, we all will be having pictures. But let him say. I know everyone was so eager to meet him, and I'm sure in that happiness we all forget to do one thing. On the count of three, make the biggest round of applause for the man who has made India really proud overall. So ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you Prakash Belawadi. Sir, it's a really privilege and honor to have you over here. Please have a seat. And can I please request our other esteemed members to please take your seat. As we all know that कहते हैं ना सूरज को दिया क्या दिखाना. But still, as a MC, it is my privilege and honor to welcome the man who has made India and all over world so proud. Thank you so much, sir. Engineer by profession, but when it comes to movies and acting, there is no other guru than Prakash Belawadi. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to have you over here, sir. Let me tell you a little bit about the place where we are. It is known as Little India. This place is actually been inaugurated by our National Prime Minister of India and Australia. And it's an esteemed honor that you are the first Bollywood actor and director that is getting recognition in our Little India. Even though it is little, but you can see all the prominent people sitting over here. Only because of them, this Little India is not little anymore in Australia. So for all of you present here, make some a biggest round of applause. As I was saying that, सूरज को दिया कैसे दिखा सकते हैं? We have a man with us. Whenever he speaks, his TEDx talks, his movie that has made all the nation proud, stumble, one of the finest master art speeds. Whenever we talk about faculty in acting, he's the one. Not faculty, not teaching only in India, but throughout the world, Istanbul, Spain, you name the country, he is the pioneer over there. So thank you so much, sir. And along with that, let me also introduce the people sitting next to you. Over here, we do have Anushka Sheshraji, a very renowned name, a very humble personality in Indian-Australian group.
Just 1 minute.
Along with that, we also have Parag Shahji over here. Anushka Sheshra, President of Indian Australian Boys. Along with that, Parag Shah, Chairman of Indian Community Forum. Thank you so much for making our Indian Australian community so much proud, so much happy. Thank you so much. Keep rising, keep shining. As we all know that today we all are eagerly waiting to meet you, to have a chit chat, and especially today is a perfect weather. इतनी सर्दी में मोमोज का मजा कुछ और ही है. So we are here at the king of momos. जोरदार तालियां हो जाए मोमोज के लिए. Let me call upon amazing, talented people always move around with talented. So can I please request you over here, our dress designer, Saiji, to please come here. Amazing dress designer, a very creative person, Bollywood over here among with us. I can see that Tarun Khurana ji, Dukal ji over here, everyone, Deepan Punia ji, Mohan Walia ji, you call the name, they all are the pioneer. They all are the pioneer of Little Indian Australian society. As we have such a privilege over here, I will also ask Amit ji to really introduce our amazing personality over here.
गुड इवनिंग, थैंक यू. आप आए शॉर्ट नोटिस पे, हमारी पर्सनल बात हुई थी. थैंक यू. मैं आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करता हूँ. यहाँ जो लोग बैठे हैं, ज़्यादा लोग नहीं है, 20 लोग या 25 लोग होंगे, पर ये जो 8 लाख इंडियन है, ये समझ लीजिए वो इस रूम में बैठे हुए हैं. ये सब अपने अपने फील्ड के महारथी हैं. मैं स्टार्ट करता हूँ. हरमोहन वालिया जी, ये फर्स्ट इंडियन है जिन्होंने किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से ये चुनाव लड़ा था, और इन्होंने इतने अवार्ड जीते हुए हैं जो इनको भी नहीं याद और मुझे भी याद. और इन्होंने ये बुक लिखते हैं सक्सेसफुल इंडियंस की, जो आपको अभी बाद में देंगे. और तरुण भाई है, तरुण खुराना सिक्योरिटी कंपनी है, और हमारे कम्युनिटी का प्राउड है, बहुत बड़ी कंपनी है. और हम इंडियंस का नाम आता है तो प्राइवेट सिक्योरिटी कंपनी का भी नाम आता है. उनके नेक्स्ट बैठे हुए हैं विपिन पुनिया जी, जो लिटिल इंडिया फाउंडेशन के चेयरमैन हैं. और ये माइकल इज द ऑनर ऑफ दिस रेस्टोरेंट. ही इज सो काइंड. उन्होंने अलाउ किया कि आप यहाँ कर सकते हो. थैंक यू माइकल. गर्मा बजाज, ये बहुत सक्सेसफुल रियल एस्टेट एजेंट है. इनके हस्बैंड का आगे अमृत बजाज एंड गर्मा बजाज, जो एक चंडीगढ़ में बैठे हुए. ये आज की डेट में जो कहते हैं ना कि जो लोग मुकाम बना के एक चमकता सितारा होता है जो बहुत जल्दी से आसमान में दिखाई देता है, वो ये नीरज दुग्गल और इनकी रावल. नीरज दुग्गल ये इनकी वाइफ है, और रितेश भाई है और जब इवेंट की बात आती है हमारे बीच में, जितने आप बॉलीवुड स्टार आते हैं, ना सोनू निगम जी आ रहे हैं, और ये हमारे चिराग भाई हैं, उनकी वाइफ फॉरम अभी सबसे सक्सेसफुल इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइजर है. थैंक यू. सनी, यहाँ एक चैनल आता है अनम्यूट, ये चलाते हैं, और जितने भी उल्टे पुल्टे धंधे लोग करते हैं उनको ये वीडियो बना के डाल देते हैं. दीपिका जी हैं, दीपिका मिस्त्री जी, ये एक यहाँ की लोकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है इंडियन कम्युनिटी फोरम, उसकी प्रेसिडेंट है. और अभी एक ब्यूटी कॉन्टेस्ट हमने किया था, उसकी टाइटल होल्डर है मिसेज इंडिया ग्लोबल गायत्री. जो सक्सेसफुल इंडियंस की बात आती है, और जो हम इवेंट वालों को बहुत सपोर्ट करते हैं, शान रुपराय और सैन रुपराय, ये वर्ल्ड बैंक में काफी अच्छी पोजीशन होल्ड करते हैं. इतने हम्बल हैं, कभी भी इनको कुछ भी काम बोलोगे ये हमेशा करते हैं. मैं तो इनको केवल 2 दिन पहले बोलता हूँ, सब पहले कि भाई ये चीज करनी है, वो कर देते हैं. ज्योत्सना भी यहाँ टीवी वो होस्ट है, वो रेडियो होस्ट है, एक रेडियो है, उस पर ये अपना संडे को 1 घंटे का वो देती है. और ये हमारी प्लेटफॉर्म से निकली है, हम जो ब्यूटी कॉन्टेस्ट करते हैं वहां से. यहाँ पे जितने लोग दिख रहे हैं सब ज्यादातर या तो जूरी मेंबर है या कोई ना कोई टाइटल होल्डर है. समीक्षा इवेंट में काफी अच्छा नाम बनाया है. हमारी प्लेटफॉर्म से हमारी ये पार्टिसिपेट किया था, और आज सिडनी में इवेंट में इन्होंने काफी नाम बना लिया, और हमारी जैसा हमारी कंपनी बन गई है. अच्छा लगता है कि हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म से लोग तरक्की करें, और डॉक्टर भी हैं. तो और मेरी वाइफ जब सिक लीव मांगती है तो उसी से सर्टिफिकेट मिलता है. अब कनका बैठी है, इन्होंने भी टाइटल जीता हुआ मिसेज इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया का. नायना है, ये बहुत अच्छी मेकअप आर्टिस्ट हैं, और इंडियंस को काफी सपोर्ट करती हैं. ये बांग्लादेश से, और लेकिन इंडियंस के कोई भी इवेंट में किसी को जरूरत पड़ती है हमेशा उनके काम आती है. ये हमारे बहन का बच्चा समझ लो, ये कंगन है, और ये हमारी विनर है हमारी प्लेटफॉर्म की, और इसने पंजाबी मूवी में भी एक्टिंग की है.
इवेंट के बिना कोई भी इवेंट होगा।
हाँ ये मेरा मेरी धर्मपत्नी एक्चुअली हम लोग अभी हमारी बेटी की मैरिज हो गई है, तो हम लोग अभी हनीमून पीरियड मना रहे हैं। और मसाल ये हमेशा हमारे इवेंट को सपोर्ट करते हैं। अभी एक नई मेंबर जुड़ी है रुपेंद्र, अभी एक इवेंट था तो मैंने एक काफी अगर जो अच्छी ड्रेस पहनेगा उसको हम एक बॉलीवुड एक्ट्रेस से बुलाएंगे, तो उसका वो विनर है जे है ग्राफिक डिजाइनर। और कोई रह गया हो?
अनीता
ये अनीता जी एक यहाँ बहुत अच्छा हमारा भाई है छोटा वरुण तिवारी, जो यहाँ पे टीवी चैनल चलाते हैं, तो उनके साथ काम करती है। अनीता जी आइए स्पेशल करके, इनको भी जाना था, बोलती नहीं मैं आती हूँ आपको सपोर्ट करने।
हाँ एक बंदा रह गया, अनुज भाई हमारे स्टार मेकर
Now it's the time we all been waiting for. I know. देखो आपने आना था, उससे पहले ये सारे पूछ रहे थे, हमने ना बहुत बातें करनी है। And जैसे ही आप आए, trust me, I could see their faces. All they wanted a picture with you. But I will be helping you all. Now let's start the question answer round. First, it's not a question, rather it's a thank you on the behalf of all the people that love cinema. Stumble के लिए दिल से शुक्रिया. That's a movie that made not us, everyone so proud. I'm sure you would have heard this question lots of times and you would have answered this question, but tell me the issues you faced while making Stumble.
बहुत शुक्रिया. I'll speak in English because my Hindi is not as fluent as yours. I have a script, I'll learn like this. But in an interview I can manage slowly, but please forgive me if I speak in English. I did the film because I used to run a television series. I wrote and directed a television series in my language, Kannada. And the channel began to interfere with me. I'm saying this publicly because it's all 20 years ago now. And I got really annoyed with them and I said I won't change the stories because all the female characters in my series and in my serial were very strong. But they wanted women to be suffering and crying in it. I said I won't do that. So I got annoyed and eventually I stopped doing it. But I had staff of 22 people who had been trained by me, only all of them. So we decided to make a movie. And at that time, this .com thing had just begun. And Bangalore was the center for it, everywhere there were holdings. There was one company, I think some of you will remember, called Home Trade. Do you remember? Hrithik Roshan, Shah Rukh Khan, Sachin Tendulkar were all, advertising for it. I researched and tried to research a lot about it. That company did nothing. There was no product, nothing. Just a brand they had created. Of course, it went bust. A lot of people lost money. But that's one example. And I felt really that was a great subject to do. And I'm an engineer. I used to write code. Those days I used to write code, programming. So I knew a little bit about that topic. So I wrote that film and I directed it. It was released during the first IPL. So nobody saw it. The screen theaters was freely available and somebody released it for us. Star Entertainment released it for us, but people didn't come to watch it. It was actually given as a textbook in many countries, USA mainly. But it didn't make money. I got really scared and I stopped making movies after that. Although I produced one more film later. But this film, after many years, some rewards came. Not that much in money, but the first reward that we got was that it won the national award. It went to. It was also declared. It was also selected for the Indian Panorama. But just 3 or 4 years ago, it was chosen as one of the 30 best films of India. By Doordarshan. Doordarshan decided to look at films made in the after the millennium. And I want to select 30 films as an example. I took it around the world. And this film was also selected at that time. But, we did that film, first time direction, first time assistant direction, first time camera, first time editing, first time production management. Everything first time from people trained by me. So I did that film because of circumstances. I also need to tell you, if you, I don't know how you know this, maybe you got it from Google or I don't know. I was also a journalist for some years. I was the chief of news service for the Asian Age Group in Delhi. I was a correspondent for Sunday magazine. I worked for Indian Express. I wrote columns for Times of India, DNA, Economic Times, The Hindu, Midday, Mirror, so many papers. So I have some journalism experience also. So all that came together to make a film. Actually, I used your question to reveal a lot more information about me. So,
That's so good.
yeah, so that we can cut short these answers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are privileged and honored to have Ms. Dona Davis among us. MP. MP for Paramana, Ms. Dona Davis. Very, very prominent name. And when it comes to helping, especially all the multicultural society and community, thank you so much, Dona, for your amazing work. Along with that, we do have, which we call a lady boss. Dr. Neeraj Duggalji, it's a privilege and honor to have you over here. Thank you so much. Now, as you have just joined, we are starting with a question-answers round. So another question is just from this beautiful lady over here. Let's have your question, ma'am.
Thank you, Prakash ji. It's so nice to have you here, and we were really waiting to see you. And one thing I would like to know from you is that you have done theatres and films as well. You have done Pathan, you have done Sanju, and all other movies as well, and all are doing really well. And you are the character in the movie which you will not miss noticing. So we noticed you in every film and you did really well. So what's the difference between theatre and cinema? Movies.
It's a good question. Actually, my favorite question.
Oh, thank you.
See, I'll start from the other side of it. Because I have a technical background and I do a lot of science theatre. I've done 12 science plays. So I try to follow, all my TED talks are always about the future. I know that when new technology comes, the fear of replacing jobs is always there. But people cope with new technology. But I think now in the world we have the perfect storm of new technologies. There are 16, broadly speaking, 16 new types of technologies that have achieved some kind of maturity at once. I know that ChatGPT is the one that everybody talks about, but in nanoparticles, programmable matter, and so on. In Hong Kong University, they've just made a programmable plasticine kind of material that can take any shape. It actually can penetrate the body through blood vessels and reach places where surgery will be difficult or complicated. And it can do something there. It can wrap around, say, cancerous cells, and it can actually extract it, taking. I'm saying that's programmable material. It's a robot actually. What I'm saying is that there are so many new, software 2, for instance, is not an advance from software 1 that we have now. It's an entirely new type of quantum, it's a quantum leap. Now quantum computing is a quantum leap in computing power. I'll tell you a short story. This will be a slightly long answer.
Yeah, I would love to hear it.
I'm an actor. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
So, in 1996, when IBM did their first supercomputer, Deep Blue, as a marketing idea, they invited Gary Kasparov, who was, I would rate him as the greatest grandmaster of all time at that time. Of course, he was the reigning champion, to a match. So today it's commonplace, in your generation, all you young people here, you think it's easy for computers to play games, but that was a big leap at that time, that it could do algorithms on the fly. And the prize money was $1.1 million. The match was to be held in Philadelphia. And Kasparov actually laughed first. But they taunted him. They said, even if you lose, Mr. Kasparov, we will share the prize money with you. And he came and played. The first day he got kind of disturbed by it, that the computer could play so well. It took about 4 or 5 days, he defeated it. They invited him the next year to Manhattan. This is 1996, remember. 97, they invited him for a rematch, Deep Blue version 2. And on the 9th day, Kasparov got a conceded defeat. And he walked away. And he said this immortal line, which Time magazine later quoted in an essay. He said, see what happens when quantity becomes quality. What he meant was that the computer was not intelligent. IBM later explained what they did. They got that machine to do 100,000 to 200,000 moves a second. That means you make a move, and in a second it is calculating every possibility that move can result in.
Yep.
100,000 to 200,000 per second. What human being can match it? And I'm talking about something that was nearly 30 years ago. Can you think about what it will be now? Machine learning, software to Web3, digital twins of people, digital twins of systems. You can have a digital twin of governance, of the city, for instance. Where you just have mathematical simulations with bits and bytes. You see, for this input, what happens as output mathematically, and you calibrate it against real events. You have billions and billions of bits of data on what has happened, and you get calibrated the mathematical side at that speed of calculation can do really well. So it's not that human jobs will be replaced. I think human jobs will be degraded. See, if you want to do, say, cancer surgery, would you trust a robot which will never make a mistake, or a human? Because when you do laser surgery, for cancer, let us say, radiation, you will burn healthy cells as well. To micro-manage it, maybe you'll try. But I don't want to be dystopic about it, meaning negative about it. But supposing in India you have primary healthcare centers that are manned by robots, by machines. People can access the best or very competent medical care which we're not able to give for such a large population. You can give the best quality education. Anything that is done by rote, there are 50 million cases pending in Indian courts. That's justice delayed, and so justice denied, as they say. But because of the cases are cases that go by the Constitution, by the Indian Civil Procedure Code, Criminal Procedure, IPC sections, Indian Penal Code, and all India references, which means case laws. Actually, the machine AI will do it better than the judges, and with better English, I'm sorry to say. Perfectly spaced sentences. And the cases, I think 50 million cases will be settled in 2 weeks. And to serve the vanity of the lordships, I'm in another country, so I can say this. You can actually, cases of appeal, you can send to them. So they can still keep their jobs and their, see, we are angry with the judges because the judicial system has failed the poor in this country, in our country. What I'm saying is, so many big changes are coming. And there's the last bit of data at the end. Hollywood writers went on strike last year. Most of you won't even know this, because it was not such a big event anywhere except in Hollywood. One of the demands was when they use AI, credit should not be given to AI, they should still have the credit. This was one of the demands.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sure, but see, at the time the strike was happening, you must see how big the strike was. The unions represented 1,500 writers of Hollywood alone. And the strike went on for 148 days on September 27th last year. They negotiated a deal. So the CEO of McCarthy Institute, I think his name is David Franklin, they asked him this question: do you think the writers are overreacting? Is there a problem with AI replacing creative jobs? He said, I can't tell about performance. But actually he was talking about live performance, he was not talking about movies. But by then already they had made movies without people, Written by, short films had been written by AI, enacted by AI, set design was artificial, all that happened already. See, but live performance is different. And I'll come to that, that's the point I want to make, that's all. He said, but when it comes to writing, the present state of AI, and I'm saying he did this last year, the present state of AI can write better novels, better screenplays, better almost anything than humans, he said. Why I'm saying this is that where the recorded medium had triumphed, starting from the first Bible, the recorded medium worked because it was very profitable, because you could do mass reproduction and send it across. Unlike a stage performance, for instance, because we have to bring our bodies to the space, and the audiences have to bring their bodies to the space. So in the same time space, the experience creator and the experiencer must happen. In a sense, it's a kind of sacred thing. In Indian languages also, the word for play, even in my language, Kannada is arta. Like, for both sports and for performance, it is that. And both are sacred in a sense, like watching a cricket match, or a soccer match in a stadium is very different from watching it at home, on a television screen. So I'm saying the real difference is that it is not recorded. This affects literature as well, We have tried giving assignments to ChatGPT to write screenplays, saying we want 5 Indian actors singing, a couple of actors from these countries, and this age group. Conversation should suit their age, and this is the circumstance they're in, and you should write a 40-minute film. In the third second, it will say fade in. You'll write the character, dialogue, you'll begin to write. And that is the raw, rudimentary state. It's not good yet. But you can imagine where it's going, because it learns from mistakes. If you comment and say this is bad, you'll get it into its memory, and you will not make that mistake again. So I'm saying even literature is a recorded medium. So I come from a country where my grandfather told me the stories of Mahabharata and Ramayana during summer holidays. Over 3 years of summer holidays, he told us these stories. And in the older tradition, this idea of live performance is there. You make the stories, you have to listen. And as long as we value that, grandmother telling the story, mother singing the song to the child to make it sleep, mother making up stories to tell the child, as long as you value that, you have to think of it as sacred, because you can have a robot at home who can be taught to speak in your dialect, not just your language, in your voice. You can tell a story over and over again, administer medicine, give nutrition to the baby, correct times, keep it entertained, make it sleep. So you're relieved of your job. It looks like you can make, It's only if you have a human impulse again, that you can read this, I have a feeling. But this has been a long time coming, it's just suddenly come upon us now. So I'm saying, although I've acted in a lot of movies by accident, if you want, I'll answer that question. But you know, by accident I came to, I'm not an actor, I'm a backstage person, writer, lighting designer, director, set designer. This is what I am. But in the last 10 years I've acted in 90 films or more in over 6 or 7 languages. But my main thing is that I'm a theatre person. I have another play just now running, you know, on new technology, where a large corporation uses DEI as an excuse to weed out, you know, professionals in the company they don't need, they don't want, to comply or fall in line with whistleblowers protection. So I've done that play. It's running in Bangalore now. It's called Turnaround, you know, and we've done some 13 shows. We're an amateur group. And people working somewhere. In theatre, there's no money. There's no great money for theatre even in Australia.
Theatres are actually running very low with money.
No, it's no, but that's because, you know, it's not recorded.
Yeah.
You can only bring so many people into the room.
Yeah.
You know, if you put this on YouTube or something, maybe you'll have thousands of views. But, you know, but this is sacred.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no advertising, you know, interrupting it. There's no editing. You know?
Yeah.
Right? So there's a continuity of narrative. What I'm saying is that now I'm beginning to turn down films. I know that you all know me because of cinema, but actually I'm a theatre person. I'm technology interested, and I don't know at my age what I can do, but I want to influence, you know, my society to use emerging technologies to benefit the poorest. The government is required from the poorest people. See, whatever government changes after the June 4th when elections results come, whichever side comes, I will still bring single model, okay? But for the poorest Indians, it's a question of life and death. And we have done some great things, reaching bank accounts to every poor person,
Yeah.
toilets for girl children.
Yeah.
Because
Roads
we-
are much better.
No, that is true. Look, I'm talking about fundamental things. My niece, when she was studying in Mumbai, when I visited her, she would run from school and, you know, not even greet me, just go to the toilet. You know, she was 10 years old, 11 years old. It made me cry, you know, no toilets in schools. I don't know what the hell. But now, you know, every home has a toilet. You know, in air pollution, for instance, intuitively you would think air pollution is traffic in the streets and industry. But in India, air pollution, 62% of air pollution is indoor air pollution. Women, you know, picking stuff, twigs and leaves, not fully dry, you know, inhaling carbon monoxide, you know. Child in the womb is affected, woman is affected, her children are affected. 62% of air pollution. 1.8 million deaths estimated, and I'm sure it's a lot more, die every year because of air pollution in India. And he's delivered, you know, cooking gas, you know, to 100 million homes. You know, the thing is, some good has happened because that's what the government should do. I hope whatever government comes continues to do such work. And I think we should use AI to actually to deliver the greatest justice to Indian people. And I think we should have theatre. And that is why I'm saying this. It's a one-line answer I should have given, but I give you this background. You must have theatre because theatre is the only art form that does not require, for the kind of theatre we do in India, that does not require sponsorship.
Yeah.
It does not have to please a large crowd. I don't need to have Besharam Rang song. You know? I've not seen the movie because when I was in Australia, somebody called me and said, "You acted in this movie, did you know?" I said, "No." When they told me the story, this was not there. So, but the thing is, you don't need to please the audience. You can do what you think is correct.
I think we should give a productive material to the audience.
No, I'm saying the morality of it is one side, but I'm saying it's about having free will operating, you know, that your agency should, I want to have something to say, and you're listening to me This is sacred. I don't get it from paying money. Say, I'm going to talk with you, people come and listen. No, it is not going to happen that way. This is something sacred that we must maintain. We can have freedom of expression only with an art form that depends only on community, which is what theatre is. The audience have to be near. They have to come from nearby spaces to watch it. You can't watch. It's not a film made in Timbuktu that you watch in Sydney, right? So it has to be people from Sydney must come to watch the play at Belawadi Street, which we are doing now. That's how it is. So I'm saying that is the reason performance in community is the only free form of expression left. Everything else is money dependent. When you have sponsorship, you don't need censorship. So long answer. Sorry.
So obviously you have answered that you are closer to the theatre.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, from the entertainment to ethics, please give the standing ovation to one and only Prakash Belawadi. It's an honor and a respect to have you over here. And again I'm mentioning it, it's the first time one of the finest Bollywood actor and director is getting recognized in Little India, Australia, which has been inaugurated by Indian Prime Minister and our beloved Australian Prime Minister. To do the present a token of love and appreciation, can I please request MP of Parramatta, Ms. Donna Davis.
This is incredible. At that short notice, you people have arranged it. I'm going to Melbourne tomorrow for a 1-month season of our play. But we'll come back to Sydney to perform for 1 month again.
I'm sure it's going to be
Please
amazing.
catch the show in Sydney. It's won 8 Healthman Awards, counting and counting. A carriage works, it will be there for a month. Please come and watch. Thank you.
And the credit goes to Raksha and Anuj Sheshaji. Presenting a token of love and appreciation by Raksha, Chairman of Indian Community Forum, Anuj Shesha, President of Indian Australian Voice, Ms. Donna Davis, MP Parramatta, Dr. Neeraj Tuggal, and Ms. Shweta Shesha. Thank you so
It's
much.
an honor, Ms.
It's an honor and a privilege.
In Melbourne, it will be at the Union Theatre.
Like, how are you going to...
Even I won an award for that play. I won a Healthman Award for Best Actor Male.
From entertainment to ethics, trust me, sir, it's an honor and a privilege. Now,
I'm just saying that to sell tickets, please come and watch it.
Yes.
In the first season, 29 shows in Sydney, all the tickets for all the shows were sold out 1 week before the show opened.
I'm sure it's going to be go places and places, and we will let you go without your encouragement. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. Thank you so much, and give a biggest round of applause to Ms. Donna Davis.
I apologise for coming again, but I had another event, but it was lovely to hear your anecdotes, and I will be looking out for your play when you come back, Prakash. The one thing about Parramatta is that we pride ourselves on our performing arts, and I don't know if you know, but last week we unveiled plans for our new Riverside Theatre. It will have the existing Riverside Theatre, but a 1,500-seat theatre as well, a black box, so you'll be able to perform whatever you want in that space, and rehearsal spaces. The theatre has never had that before. Outside of Sydney, Riverside Theatres will be the most important performing arts space in New South Wales, and it's because we know that Parramatta has got so much talent, and we are the gateway to Western Sydney, but we want Parramatta to be able to reflect the people that live here and the stories of the people that live here, and performers like yourself, writers, producers, that can help that next generation of creative artists bring those stories to life is so important. And it's wonderful to see someone of your stature and experience here in Australia and being able to share that experience with others who can learn from you. Those that know me know I'm very passionate about the arts and what it means for future Parramatta. And as we celebrate Little India in Harris Park and the growth of this area, it's all about bringing people to Parramatta and to Little India and making this a gateway to celebrating culture and each other. So thank you so much for the opportunity to meet with you, and I will be putting that in my diary for when you come back from Melbourne. Okay, wonderful.
May I make a request now that she has said that? I have done, there's a very great writer, a living legend in Kannada called Dr. S.L. Bhairappa. His novel, one of his novels called Parva, which is actually based on the Mahabharata. 20% of it is the Mahabharata, but 80% is his own imagination. He writes what the characters think rather than what has happened, how they reflect on what has happened. And it's a very famous novel, 29th imprint, over the last 30 years. It's been translated last year, 2 years ago, to Mandarin and to Russian as well. It's a very famous work. I have adapted that into a stage performance. I first did it in Kannada. 10 hours the first time I did with 5 intervals. They said, who will watch it? We did 57 shows in Kannada. Not one person left. Now I have translated that to English. And we have done 6 shows. And I've come here, otherwise we would have done more shows. I want to bring that to Australia. I'm willing to do it there. The thing is, I don't want money. I want people to watch it. You buy tickets and watch. That's all I want. I will find the money to bring the play here. This is our 20th year. Our group is called Centre for Film and Drama. Never applied for a government grant. Never taken sponsorship. Government grants in India are very politically loaded. You can only do some stuff that they like. So we've never taken, and I've never taken sponsorship. But I'm willing to do it because I want to tour the US as well, 10 states in the US, and I want to bring it to Australia first because this is my 6th visit to Australia. I've acted in 2 plays here. I've done 62 shows with this play. In Birmingham, in Edinburgh, in Adelaide, now Melbourne, and we have been invited to Broadway, Public Theatre, where Hamilton happened. We're going to perform for 3 weeks there. So there's a big show, and Australia has been very kind to me, and I've been treatment. This is a great country, beautiful country. The people are so honest, and this is a great opportunity that's being offered to India. And it is based on the Mahabharata. So you'll recognize the story, and it's in English. I want to bring it here. We have asked Sai Ganjikar here to be the, he organized the Modi event here. He was one of the chief organizers. So we are asking him to help us. He'll be the executive producer. We want to bring it as soon as you can find a day. If we can have the help of your representative, Ms. Davis here, for us to get visas and so on. It's a group of 35 people will come. We'll find the money to fly out. We'll look at some ways of getting them accommodated here. You just have to buy tickets and watch the show. That's it.
But I'm sure the New South Wales government will sponsor that, definitely, because there's so much culture. So we will arrange that, and Donna being part of the process and being in the Parramatta Council.
So one of the wonderful things about the Sydney Festival is that it is in Parramatta as well as in Sydney. There's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of varied theatres, as you know. So wonderful to be able to speak to you after and to talk to the people that I need to talk to, to be able to see what we can do to support.
The staff has aligned definitely, particularly today, definitely we are going to have one of our show, 8-hour show, I must say. Amazing, beautifully. Thank you so much. Very soon we will be watching it here in Sydney. Now let me also call upon the stage, when I call a shining star, her name on this star. A proud member, a very privileged, a very honored to always introduce her. Dr. Neeraj Duggalji, come here. We wouldn't let you go without your motivation, without your blessings. Because you would that hard a very, very prominent member of Indian state.
Thank you so much. I mean, what do I say now in front of you, this highly intellectual person and Miss Davis, who's a very lovely politician. We all in Hyderabad and Harrisburg, and even in Western Sydney, we really adore her. She's so, working behind for women, for domestic violence, for local businesses. She's an amazing person. Recently we elected last year, and we're so proud that we've got such representatives. But apart from everything, having a person in Sydney City like you, honestly, 2 days ago when Anush told me that you're coming, I was like, is it an opportunity for me? Because not many people know, I guess only my family members know, that my love for cinema is very old, but somehow it didn't flourish yet, because कहते हैं ना वो इश्क पुराना है, माशूक नहीं मिली. So that is the thing, if I could translate it into English, it's like, and coincidentally, 3 days ago I started watching a new series. When I'm driving around, I usually put my favorite series or some spiritual things on the YouTube in my car. So recently I started watching Upanishad, all is Gangas. And that's also another topic and another thing, that reflects how beautiful the cinema is and what legacy they're actually bringing. And you're kind of, I must say, you're watching, but you're living the cinema. So that is incredible. So I would like to say, keep coming, keep meeting us, and we promise you will watch every single show of you.
Now I know that we all are eagerly waiting for the photo session, and let's start the photo session when we talk about Lady Boss. We have a yoga guru with us, Shweta Sheshwati. Can I please request you to come and give a token of love and visit? And also there is an amazing book written by Mohammed Waliaji, inspiring Indo-Australian women. This is a book actually honoring all the Indo-Australian women. So I'm sure एक बार लड़कियों के लिए for the girl power and we always talk about empowering each other. Amazing book. And now as we know that we all are eagerly waiting for pictures, we have an amazing photo.
That's the correct one.
So don't forget to smile. Try not to have selfie because we have amazing photographers taking your lifetime memory pictures.
Yes, Yusuf.
इन्होंने बुक लिखी है, इनका भी कई लोग जो है ना उनका
इनकी स्टोरी बीच में.
Thank you so much.
मामा साइन कर.
Now can I please request our photographers to please be ready and eagerly start a photograph opportunity from this table, from the table of lovely ladies. Let's have a picture with the yoga guru first, and then we'll start with the amazing instructors. Thank you so much.
भाभी, जनाब,
Let's ask Jyotsna, amazing review.
Signed it already.